that's why I hope, like, with this show that people just spread the word and like reach out. Like, I know it sucks, and I've been there. Not as dark, but there's always something better that's waiting for you, right? Is what I want to, I guess, put out there.
Yeah. I had that conversation with someone literally today on the way here who's feeling that same sense of darkness. Just that lack of sight. You can't see in the dark. Yeah. It's hard to see in the dark. And like, he just right now, and I don't want to unpack it all, but like, he's in something right now that's so dark he just can't see it. Okay, well, welcome everyone back to the Quiet Riot Show. Just Tommy and I today. Solo episode, or not duo?
Yeah.
Duo episode. I don't know which one this is or whatever, but... Episode
26.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you're on it.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year almost.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, July will be 1 year, so...
Holy shit.
It's exciting.
No, but didn't we do 4 episodes in a month, that 1 month?
Yeah, in November, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, we're almost on a year, so that's pretty good, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And
an interesting fucking year.
Yeah, we definitely had some good guests. People.
That would imply that we had some shitty guests.
No, because
we didn't.
Well, no, we talked about it. Is just some people are willing to share everything, and some can only share or want to share.
Well, they only want to share what they want to share.
What they are willing to share. Yeah. So, and that's okay. We're not holding that against anyone. And but it's been a great year. But also, when we look at a podcast, it's been a good year. But
yeah, I've enjoyed it.
But when it comes to personal lives, like there's been so many up and downs. Like it's a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
hoping that steadies out in our second year.
Yeah, but
I'd love to be a 7 more often.
Yeah, but I guess that's life, right? And the life we choose to live, is definitely not something that just you can coast around.
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It becomes complicated. It's complex. It's like we have so many different interactions with so many different people all the time, and like we've got our work lives and our businesses and our families and our friends, and like all of those things, like the more of those things you have and the more involved in those things you are, the more likely it is that you're going to have speed bumps or hurdles or whatever you want to call it, and like issues, and marriage isn't easy, and being a dad isn't easy, and being a business owner isn't easy, and
being a
working for
being.
Somebody else isn't easy. Like it's just fucking hard. It's hard being human, and like I think it's a little bit harder, and I think like the last number of years have been a little more complex and difficult for everybody.
I think so.
I think like the world has changed, and I'm not going to use the big C word, but like there were some things that happened in this world that kind of shifted how everything operates, and I think we're all trying to figure out what that looks like and what that's going to look like coming out of those moments and those years. And I think people are still figuring that out on every level, with their marriages, with their relationships, like all those things, their businesses, their jobs, their fucking everything.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting year for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe we do like a year in review show, not this one, but like maybe we do one where it's like, okay, well, let's talk about the last year.
This is what happened.
We've done some cool shit on this show. We've interviewed some really interesting people. We've built these relationships with people that I never knew existed before we started doing this, and so that's been fun. I enjoy it.
But also, just there's things that we can control, like our marriages, our businesses, our daily lives, and then there's some shit that happens that we can't control.
You control your marriage?
No, I didn't say.
It sounded like you said that.
I didn't say I control my marriage, but we can control our marriage.
Oh, right.
You know, so like, it's if there's anything that goes wrong in our marriage, well, it's usually either my fault, my wife's fault, or both of ours, right?
Yeah.
So, but we control what happens to our marriage. But there are things like unexpected deaths in our like. Kind of throw, you're feeling down, and then, hey, you're just started feeling better. Yeah. Guess what?
How about this?
And there's the life just throws you a curveball, right? So, and that's it's such an interesting feeling because, like, what do you do, right? Like, it's like, oh shit, I'm in the middle of creating a new product if you're in that line of business, or you're trying to meet clients, or you're trying to just doing things, and now you have to put all that on, like stop all that.
Everything stops,
and now you got to deal with what actually happens, and it's something that no one's ever prepared for.
No, and you can't really be. And so if we're talking about death specifically, like, you can't. When that happens, you just stop.
Yeah.
You have to stop.
Exactly.
And it's hard to stop. I have a hard time stopping. And then, like, shit like that can happen. It's like, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
But, like, there's this impending sense of stress about all the things that are continuing on while I have to stop.
Yeah.
And, like, that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
So it's this weird cycle of, like, I guess some context. So, we should do a check-in.
Yeah, let's do a check-in, and then we'll get into a deep dive.
So, what number are you? And from what time period?
So, let's take from the last episode that we released. So, we had Brandon on, and
Brendan.
Yeah,
I call him Brandon all the time. He hates it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And so that was an excellent episode, and it was such a cool story to listen to, and
I thought it was great. I thought he did great.
Yeah,
he was all in his head about how he did, because I see him fairly often, and like, I was like, oh, your episode's coming out. And then I started fucking with him, like making him nervous about it. I'm like, 3 more days. And
nice.
He got in his own head. But he got in his head about it before that. And he's like, I think it sucked. I don't know if I want it to come out.
It was such a good episode. And I really enjoyed meeting him and learning about him. And there are a few things that he kind of like talked about. And I really, really appreciate how he looks at things now.
Mm.
And when you hear things, and whether it's Brandon or even when we had our listener Keith on, just the little things that like they made them think about, like, let's say ending their life.
Yep.
And I've been there, and but like hearing their stories was just has such impact on me that. So in the last 2 weeks, I knew that I'm going to have a really, really busy schedule.
Yeah, you didn't sleep this last week.
Yeah. It was...
when did I talk to you? Thursday? I think you were
under
20 hours?
11 hours since between Monday and Thursday. Yeah, after Thursday afternoon, I had a 2-hour nap. I had to. I was like, finally, I'm crashing. Dude. But despite the fact that I was not sleeping, exhausted, I was really busy at my day job, and then busy with my business in the evening.
Yeah.
And plus I had other things come up, and it was, despite the fact that I didn't get the sleep and I was super busy, I felt so good about doing all that work that it didn't bring me down mentally. So I would say today I am an 8.
You seem good today.
Yeah, like I'm, and I know, like, even yesterday I had a busy day. Today is a busy day, and the next 4 days will be insane.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to. I'm enjoying my time doing that, and I still find time to spend a little bit of time with my wife, just on our own, and then a little bit of time with the kids as well. So when I take them to their activities, I spend time with them, like just chatting and instead of listening to music. We talk, or if we listen to music, we literally have a car karaoke and just sing away with Jacob. Like just have a good time with the kids.
Yeah.
So all those little things give me such boost that I've been doing really good the last.
Well, it's lighter stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not heavy shit. Like you guys went on a trip just for the weekend.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
You got away as a family and spent all that time together and like. None of those are heavy things. It's busy, but it's not heavy.
Yeah.
And so, you had a pretty intense week.
Yeah.
But it was all good things.
Yeah.
Like your business, your business is getting better. It's doing well.
Yeah. Well, not in the books, but
but you don't want that anyways.
But I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and even though it's making me work extra hard.
Yeah,
it's something new that I haven't really had time to like even experience for a long period. So this is really nice, and I'm mentally doing really good.
Well, and it's interesting because like tax season is always a time to reflect on your business because you're like going through everything and looking at the numbers, and like it's a good opportunity to actually take a pause and like. Look at where was I a year ago with this and where am I today?
That's right.
And like I think you've made some big strides in the last 12 months in your business.
I did for sure. And it's really scary when I looked at the numbers and the books but I know I had some significant costs that I had to,
incur.
Like any starting out business. You're probably, if you can break even the first year, that's a success.
Oh fuck,
that's great.
That's a
giant
win. Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
But like I'm happy how things turned out, and I know now all that cost that I had right now, I'm not gonna have going forward, right? So I think part of me is seeing those numbers were shocking, but also I realized right away that. Oh yeah, no, this is normal. This is okay.
Yeah.
And I just kind of maybe I'm lying to myself, but I just kind of want to look at things like, okay, now it's just moving up. Like
I mean the capital investments you make at the beginning of a project, though you try and limit them to as much as you or as little as you. Well, you should try and limit them to as what you need when you need it.
Yes.
Not that you've. Yeah. I don't think that you've like. Overexpended, but
no. I'm just like I don't like cheaping out because I've done that in my life. Whether it's let's say renovations, like I can buy the $10 tool. I don't need the $25 tool, and the $10 tool breaks, and then I end up buying the 20. So I spent $35 now to get that tool, right? So I always say, okay, I need it. Let me get it, and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
no, that makes sense.
That's the way I look at it. And obviously, if I can get a deal somewhere, then great.
Well, and you've built this beautiful studio that
I love it.
I get to use all the time, and I fucking love this room.
And you know
it's
what?
Great.
This is my work area too. I come down here, and this is where I do my designing stuff, and whether it's at the computer desk or here, but I can like shut myself off from the family. Like, hey, I need to go do some work, so this is my
your
office.
Space. Yeah.
And it's really nice to just have this spot.
I don't have that at home.
You should build a studio. I'll show you how. I'll tell you what you need to buy.
I want to build a room for it, like for an office, but I'm just not there right now. But.
So I'm a good 8. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I think along some of the similar lines as you, I've been very, very busy, but most of it has been pretty good.
Okay,
like it's good stuff.
It's good busy.
And so I'd say today or for the last, I don't know, let's call it a week, like probably a 7.
Okay. That's very good for you.
I'd say. Yeah.
Didn't you tell me or texted me that you were, no, that was actually, or was it you that texted me that you want to be a 7? No, that was somebody. No, that was actually Dan from Intergalactic Sauce.
Oh, okay.
He was feeling a little bit down. We had a little conversation on Instagram chat.
I like that guy.
He's such a sweetheart.
He's a beauty.
Yeah, he is.
So I'd say I'm a 7 this week.
Okay, good.
Like, busy 7, but a 7 nonetheless.
Yeah. Fantastic.
My daughter's got this project going on at school, and it's like they just got to choose whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
So she chose to like build a project around starting a business, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay,
I gotta do this again.
So then so then it's just like me and her mom just get into it because we're both business owners. And so it's just like, oh shit, okay, she's taking this path. Fuck you, poor girl. But it's also like she's 12. Yeah. And so she knows she has this idea, she thinks it's this thing. Yeah. But it's like, no, it's a lot of fucking work. And like I'm struggling a little bit with like how much work I'm having to do on this project.
Yeah, okay.
That's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, but
also
again,
she's 12. So like
that's amazing that
and if
she's
no one ever
doing
and
it.
if no one ever taught me how to do it, I wouldn't know how to do it either.
That's
so
right.
like I'm happy and grateful for all those things.
So she's following mom and dad's footsteps, clearly,
Poor girl.
Yeah, but you know what? That's awesome. It's amazing that she actually, like, you would figure a 12-year-old would never pick how to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, like, unless both your parents are entrepreneurs, because that's all she knows, and that's how you became one, because
that's what I grew up in.
Family was doing,
for sure.
So.
And she's grateful to have access to some really successful female entrepreneurs. Yeah. And so she like did some interviews with them, and like it's been a really cool experience for her. Yeah. And it's been fun to work with her on some of the things. Like she's building a product line, and so we've actually like made some things this week.
I can't wait to try it.
Right? So it's been a cool experience. It's just like, oh fuck, okay, this is like
you're really busy and now you have this.
Like I just need to be a dad now and like help with this thing.
Welcome to parenthood.
Fuck, and you have 2 of them.
I know.
I just have 1. I know people with like 3 and 4. It's like, how do you?
Yeah, but see, my kids will never pick like entrepreneurship or stuff. I just don't see them.
No.
Like my daughter. So my daughter is going to grade 10 next year, and so
she's going to grade 10. Holy fuck!
Yeah, grade 10. Yeah, and then so we looked at the courses that she could pick, and I was like, holy shit! Like, they can do graphic design, website building, audio engineering, all this cool stuff. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, if we had that in school,
I had that when I went to high school.
Not in Europe, yeah. And
no, you guys are still
behind,
pulling carts behind fucking horses and shit.
Well, I went to like the school system is a little bit different. I don't want to dive into it too much, but like you learn a little bit of everything till grade 12. Like it's not like you get to pick your courses.
Okay.
You just have this is the curriculum, chemistry, biology, everything goes right to grade 12. And then you graduate from, like, you can narrow it down for graduation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's way more fun here.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like I told her, I was like, look, like I know how to build a website, but like I really don't want to be doing that for there's a lot more to it to learn.
Yeah.
And I just like, that's not my focus. That's not what I want to be doing. But I was like, if you would want to take on web designing, man, you're going to be my first employee.
Right.
Like, I'm going to give you jobs because I had so many clients ask, hey, do you do
She's website? Your kid, so you can underpay her.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Free labor. But no, I told her, I was like, look, you have the option of actually making some really good money at a young age if you decide to do that. But no. She doesn't
just
want
not
to
interested.
So, and Jacob wants to be an electrician. So
nice, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I told her, I was like, hey, that's good money.
Man,
trade is excellent.
Well, in 20 years from now, like that's a deadly good career choice because nobody wants to do that right now.
Yeah, so if he wants to do that, I mean, I think first time he gets zapped, he might, might be like, yeah,
just zap him now, and then you can skip like 10 years. Yeah, like just get zapped. How do you feel about that? Can you deal with that once in a while? All right.
So you take this wire,
just tase him one morning, like out of nowhere.
I'll just get that dog collar.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
Hey, Jacob, can you go grab the fucking coffee mug and just wire it and see if he's still interested after that?
But so that's what they want to do. But I don't know. Part of me is hoping that they'll join me at some point, in some way. And if they don't, well, it is what it is. Yeah.
It's okay too.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they're happy.
I think Autumn's headed towards entrepreneurship for sure. It seems that way, and like that's how her brain works.
Yeah.
So she just has to get like the work ethic part of it, but she's 12. Like she'll get it.
Perfect.
Just like, nobody else is going to do anything for you. Yeah. So like, you better fucking figure it out.
Yeah, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah,
or it's not getting done.
Yeah. And so that needs work, but that's okay. She's great at the ideas.
She's also 12.
She's also 12 years old. Yeah.
What were you doing when you were 12? Not building your own product?
Skateboarding, and that's about it.
There you go.
And then occasionally working at my family business. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our...
we kind of strayed way off the...
That was a good discussion. But
I'm fine to talk about anything.
Hey, Tommy, among all the episodes we've recorded, there's one common theme, and that's getting therapy. We've talked about it lots.
Many, many times.
You had a really tough time making that first phone call. I had a tough time making that first phone call. I didn't even know if the person I was going to see was the right person, but you got to just try. Thank goodness we have a sponsor that makes it way easier now. BetterHelp has an online platform that allows you to fill out a questionnaire. They connect you with a therapist, and you get to communicate with them however you want. So whether that's text messaging, that's emails, that's through their app, that's video chats, you get all those options, and it makes it way less scary to be connected with someone. And if you're not into the person you talk to, they'll sign you another one right away. I've gotten assigned mine already, and I can't wait to use it. Like, by the time you hear this, I will have had my first session, and I'm super pumped to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it, and it's very easy to sign up. It took us maybe 5 minutes to sign up, and you answer just simple questions, and next thing you know, you got a message that you will be paired up with a therapist, and within the same day, we got the therapist already, and the name and a message from them, and we were able to communicate with them. So it's extremely easy. So please go to BetterHelp.com. That's the thing. BetterHelp.com/Quiet Riot Show, and you get to also enjoy 10% off for your first month if you sign up using this link. So again, right here, I'm going to be doing it from here. Yeah, it's BetterHelp.
Am I screwing it up?
.com/Quiet Riot Show. Sign up today, and you're not going to regret it, because I'm already enjoying it. Just the fact that we connected with a therapist.
Me too, man.
Thank you to BetterHelp for supporting this podcast. Honestly, I love these episodes because you and I can kind of sit down and I guess speak a little more seriously, I guess, or more into depth on certain topics. Because we chat a lot, but I feel like when you and I do an episode on a certain topic, we really take it apart and do a deep dive on it.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy these, and I've heard lots of good feedback from our listeners too, that they really enjoyed the episodes. Where it's just you and I together.
Okay.
So
we can do more of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. Let us know what you think.
Or don't.
Or don't.
I don't give a shit.
But yeah, no. So I guess I wanted to have a conversation with you about the time your grandpa passed away, because I know that hit you very hard.
Yeah.
And I knew you were close with your grandpa, but I didn't know you were that close.
So my grandpa passed away, I don't know, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Month
ago?
Probably
a month ago. Yeah. Maybe not even, I don't know. And he was old. He was 94. Mm-hmm. Something happened. He was in the hospital for 3 days and then gone. So
super fast.
Just the way he would have wanted that to happen. Yeah. So that's great. And you're 94. You're fucking old. Good on you, man. You did it. You did the thing.
Yeah.
You made it to 94. What did I tell? I told people that it wasn't tragic. It was just sad.
Yeah.
Because it's not a tragedy. If you die at 94, it's not a tragedy. No.
It's
sad.
It's sad. And anytime anybody passes away, it's sad. But yeah.
And so I think with him, he came from nothing. Mm-hmm. He couldn't afford shoes growing up. They came from literally nothing. And he started a business.
Yeah.
And bullied his way into being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And that kind of hits, we just actually touched on a bunch. It's it kind of hits home for me, because it's just without, he was kind of the first of our family to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's special. To me, that's so special, because that's so close to me too. I knew him.
If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Doing what I'm doing today, living the way I'm living. Yeah. It was because of him. It's not even because of the person before him.
Yeah.
It's because of him. And I had the chance to spend 40 years of my life around him, which was fucking awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Not a lot of people get that. And
no.
I have grandparents on the other side of my family that I didn't know well. They didn't live in Winnipeg, so I didn't know them as well. But like, they also died younger, and so missed some of that time as well. And so with him, it was just like, oh no, he's like, I had him around for 40 years of my life.
He saw you.
I worked beside him. I
little
worked
baby
on things
to
with him.
turning into a man and an
like,
entrepreneur.
He was probably one of the first people to hold me when I was born.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And so like,
what, you don't remember?
No, not at all.
No, yeah, and that's amazing. I told you before that, like, yeah, my grandparents from my dad's side passed away when I was, I don't know, 10, 12, 13. And my grandma passed away when I was, I think, 16, 17 from my mom's side. And then my grandpa passed away. I was already living here. And my grandpa was a very simple man. You know, I don't even know what he did for a living, because from when I remember him, he was already retired and just he was basically grandma's bitch. Like, he was just like, go feed the rabbits and the chickens, you know, like he was just doing stuff around the house. Like, I don't know what his job was. But then he went blind. He was in home, so every time I went back home, it was a very special visit. But you know, he couldn't see. Like, we sat down, I sat there for half an hour and that's it. And then I would go visit him multiple times when we were there. So that was my relationship with my grandparents. I spent summers there as a kid, had a great time, but nothing beyond that, right?
Yeah, and so I was fortunate. And like, I mean, shit, he got, his mind was there the entire time he was alive. His mind never slipped.
Well, you mentioned that he even drove till like he
90, 91.
Yeah, like, that's amazing.
I think 90.
And then
it was probably a nightmare to fucking drive behind him.
Yeah,
but
probably,
like,
but like any old person.
Yeah,
but,
like if you're behind a Buick, just move around. Like,
but then you showed him how to use Uber, right?
Yeah, and so he would he loved going to hockey games.
Yeah,
and so he would go to hockey games and like eventually learned how to like take an Uber.
That's
and like
awesome.
Can you imagine being
for a 90-year-old to use that?
He had a Facebook page. Like, when he was in his 80s, he went to that side of my family has history in like Paraguay and South America. And so when he was in his 80s, he went on this like journey to Paraguay and South America to like visit relatives he'd never met in his life.
Wow.
And he was fucking 80. And he just like went by himself, because there's no way grandma was going to go.
Yeah. That's amazing.
She's not much of a risk taker.
Yeah.
But Gramps just fucking was going. And so, and like, it's a sign of his life where like nobody told him he couldn't do something.
Yeah.
Again, also probably why he chose to let go after 3 days of being in the hospital. Like, I'm not living like this.
Yeah, I
don't want to live
a beautiful life.
I don't want to live whatever life is coming out of this. So like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then he's out.
Yeah.
Plus his wife, like my grandma, is also 94. She's still alive, but she's got dementia and whatever. So it's just like, he's like, just, it was a good time for him to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he went with dignity, and I think he chose.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. So.
But yeah, so I've seen you a few days after that. And it was
tough.
you didn't let me hug you.
No.
And
I didn't want to cry.
That was weird, because I wanted to hug you so much, man. But I
wouldn't even let my wife touch me. Like, it's like, I don't need another meltdown. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And any hug just made me cry. So I was like, nobody's touching me. Like, I just cold. I just want to get through the thing, and like, I'll have my moments, but like, that's it. That's good enough.
But yeah, so tell me what, because we talked about like you're busy with your job, and you got shit going on, and now this happens.
Yeah.
So what was going through your, what were you feeling, and what went through your head?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what do I need to do now? Do I focus on this? Do I focus on that? And
like, when something like that happens, you just have to hit stop.
Yeah.
And you have to give yourself a moment to do that. I'm so grateful for my business partner that he was just like, do whatever you need to do, all good. Like, he just handled shit. But I still wanted to like work, because I wanted a distraction. I didn't want to just sit in it forever. Like, I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
And so like, my preference actually would be to never deal with it and just ignore it and pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Nobody in my life lets me do that anymore, so that's frustrating. Yeah, I fucking hate that. But like, but no, it was really hard. It happened so fast, and so there was no time to prepare for it. Even though I knew he was old, but it's just like his mind was there, like, and honestly, like we kind of. To me, I shouldn't say we, but for me, like, I kind of grieved him and my grandma, even though she's still alive. I kind of grieved them both at the same time. Because, like, Gramps is gone. So Gramps is gone. Grandma doesn't know who I am anymore. And so it's just like, well, then, so it was kind of this, like, oh, I'm just going to get through all of this now. And so, like, I think Grandma will probably pass in the next while.
Yep.
I don't think it'll hurt as much. It won't be the same because I think with Grandpa passing, like I just kind of got through all of it and was just like, okay.
You got all that bad emotion out of your system. And
like I did take time to process
well,
it.
and like your grandparents have been married for
oh man,
like
70.
That's insane.
70 some years.
That's insane. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, like that's a lot of years. And so in your, I guess, I assume in your eyes, it's like it's always grandma and grandpa.
Yeah,
they're one.
Yeah, they were one unit. Yeah. Like I never knew them as different. I never saw them differently. Like, I mean, shit. When I was born, they were probably already married for 30 fucking years. Like, right. So, so it was like a bit of that too, where I had at least enough space and time to figure out, like, oh, I'm grieving all of this.
Yeah.
Like I'm losing the last of my grandparents.
Yeah.
So okay. But it hurts. It's hard. Yeah. It wasn't, it wasn't fun. And like with the intensity of my business as of the last while, like to hit stop on that was hard and like also frustrating because like I don't want to. And there's this thing that happens that just forces you to, or the people around you force you to.
Yeah.
And so it's probably a good thing. It's fine. But like, it was really fast. Yeah. I think that was the part that took adjusting. I needed some time to adjust because it just happened so fast. So I think for like the first few days, like I just kind of didn't talk much. I didn't say much. I kind of hid in the basement. Like my wife and daughter were so kind as to just like give me space to just like whatever I wanted. And
let us know if you need anything.
Yeah. And like if I wanted to talk, I would talk for 5 minutes and then I would just go back and like I just needed some peace. They were so good for that, and my business partner was so good. Like everyone was great, and everyone like finds out, and they like I don't tell people when that shit happens. It's not my thing. You found out. You actually came to the funeral, which was great. Like I'm grateful that you were there. It was nice to see you there, but like in my mind, Rachel's like, should I tell anybody? I'm like, no, fucking don't tell anybody. I don't want anyone around. Like everyone's just gonna want to hug me and make me cry. So fuck off. Like I'm not interested in that. So, so they just like gave me space to just do my thing and just like process at whatever speed I needed to. As far as that goes, like everyone around was so great and supportive. I felt bad because I wasn't sort of as engaged enough as like my dad, who it was his dad, and like would have liked me to be, but like. It's your own thing, and like when somebody dies, like you're not.
Everyone processes things differently, right?
Yeah, and so I'm not like I don't want to sit around with the whole family and tell stories about them. Like I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this fucking slideshow at the funeral. I don't want to do those things, and so it's not out of disrespect or a lack of love or care for the people in my life. It's just. That's not what that's not all that thing. Does for me is make it worse.
Yeah.
So like I'm not doing that. So
yeah, I'll do that in a month once
I'll do it on my own terms when I want to do it. So like the slideshow thing, like I picked I knew it existed. I knew that it was done really well. I wanted to watch it. I just wanted to watch it on my own terms.
Yeah.
And so after the day of the burial, that was the first burial I've ever been to.
Oh, okay.
I've actually avoided all those
really?
my whole life because I hate them. Or I thought I do hate them, but now I know I hate them. But I just did. That doesn't. I don't get closure from that. That doesn't do anything for me. So like I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And so but I had to go. I was a pallbearer, and it's my fucking grandpa. So he would want me there. So okay, fuck, I'm going. So I went, and then afterwards, me and my cousin, who's also like my best friend, went back to his house, like had some whiskeys and watched the slideshow, and like it was like a 30-minute slideshow. It took us like 5 hours to get through it because we stopped at every slide and had a conversation, and like that's how I wanted to experience it.
That's right.
I didn't want to just see it in passing and then like not have that chance.
Yeah.
And so
that's nice.
It was great. Like we spent like hours just going through it and like, oh, that's my dad when he was like fucking my age,
you
or like
analyze
30.
The whole picture, and
my dad had a sick mustache, by the way, when he like he still does, but in his 30s he was fucking killing it. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I almost a couple pictures made me chuckle at the funeral. I was like, oh shit, that's Murray.
Well, and him and I looked the same. Yeah. Like I looked the same as him. Well,
actually, your grandpa is, and you like like you guys
very.
Like, when I look at you and your dad, I'm like, okay, I see some similarities.
Yeah.
But you and your grandpa, holy shit. Like, I'm like, that's the same asshole face.
Right? Fuck.
No, but yeah, like, I can see him, like, same thing that would be very hard person to read his emotions.
Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wasn't like.
Never met him in person, but yeah. Like
he wasn't out with it. Like he was very stoic and like.
Like I would hate to have him as a boss.
You'd never know.
Pissed off or what? Yeah.
Is he angry or having the best day of his life? Who knows? And I'm kind of like that too. Like I'm pretty steady in that sense, and so that's probably from him. Yeah, just like no.
Yeah.
Not a lot of emotions.
No.
I do this show, which is probably the one opportunity I take to like show emotions a little more.
Yeah.
And like generally I don't outside of that.
Except your grandpa had better hair than you do.
Fuck. God damn it. Handsome bastard.
Well, and so, and after I thought of it, I'm like, fuck, I don't know if it was weird, but like I asked you when the funeral is and everything, because like in my culture, it's like you go pay. That's where you go pay respects to the family and to the person that passed. And even though I didn't know him, you're very close in my life, and I wanted to show that. And after that, I was like, I showed up there a little bit earlier. And I'm like, shit, there's lots of old people here, and I don't see anybody that I would know.
Nope.
I'm like, I'm just gonna go wait in the car and just show up like 1 minute before it starts. Then there was more people, and I felt a little more comfortable after that. I seen some younger people. I'm like, okay, good.
Well, of course, the old people are always early for everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope that was okay, and and if it wasn't, then fuck you. But like that's
of course it is.
That's just what me and my culture does, right?
Yeah, and I think people do that, and like I have just because I'm the fucking weird one out. Like,
well, also people didn't know about it.
I didn't tell anybody about it, and so like there's plenty of people who have no idea my grandpa died 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if they listen to the show,
now they'll know. But like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, I'm glad you were there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need anybody else there.
Yeah.
Like you said you were coming, and that was great.
Yeah.
And I was very happy to see you afterwards, and that was nice. And I appreciate that you took time to be there for that. I mean, that is it's just a support thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that
I've been to funerals where I didn't know the person who passed, but went for the person I knew who knew them.
That's right. Yeah.
And those are good things to do.
And
like
I have to say, like, funerals in Canada are actually a lot better than what I'm used to.
Oh, really?
In Slovakia, it's like it's a very just like it's led by a priest. It's almost like a full mass.
There's lots of those here too. Like Catholic funerals are the worst.
And I'm like everyone's sad, and it's like at least I love this whole like it's a celebration of life.
Yeah,
that's the way I look. I'm like, if I go, like I want people to tell the most embarrassing stories at my funeral.
I've got a list, buddy.
Yeah,
I've got a list.
Because I want people to like leave crying from laughing.
Yeah.
You know, like. It might be a sad, it might be a happy day for some people. I don't know.
I don't think you have too many enemies.
But at the end of the day, like I love that you share the great stories that you remember, and like that's where it kind of like when somebody passes close to you, like you, for easy math, you have 1,000 stories to share.
Yeah,
but you can only share 3.
Yeah.
So you really like the ones that stand out, you will share it.
Yeah.
And those will be probably the best stories to share. And when you make people laugh at a funeral, I love that. Like, it's amazing.
There should always be some type of there should be some type of laughter at a funeral for sure. I've been to one thing that's a little bit different is I've been to funerals where it's like suicides, and I've been to funerals where it's not. Those are very, very different.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suicide funerals are just so sad.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like, there's not, the ones I've been to, there was not a lot of laughter. And so I'm sure at some there might be, but like the suicide funerals I've been to, not a lot of laughter. The ones where people just die because they died and there was time and there was these things
or
like
a car accident or something. Yeah,
something just there.
Uncontrollable
and
circumstance.
Those, there's always some type of laughter or like, because generally if you're at a funeral for someone, it's because you cared about them. You loved them. It mattered to you. They mattered to you. You had an experience with them. You had a story. You had something with them. And usually any experience with a person involves some type of comedic moment. Like, think about you and I.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the stories we could tell at each other's funerals that would make people fucking howl.
I don't want
laughing.
you to come to my funeral. My family will be horrified.
They might be. But like, that's because it's paying respects and honor to the relationship that you had with that person.
Yeah.
And so I love that. Like, I don't want to talk at funerals. I don't want to do that. I don't mind talking to people afterwards. That's fine. Like at my grandpa's funeral, like we had a reception downstairs. It was just like fucking all these people coming out to me wanting to talk to me. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this right now. Like, but you have to. You just put on the face and you do the thing and it's fine. But it's just like, fuck. Like, this sucks. I just want to leave. Yeah. Like, I just want to go and have a whiskey and laugh with like five people
you're repeating
that I
yourself.
chose to be around.
You're repeating yourself. Well, people come and tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, I remember this about it. Oh, that's nice." Like, it's always the same story over and over.
And
right?
it's good. It's like,
it's great.
It's a reminder of all these people who he touched their lives in some way, and so like, it is a good thing. It's all those fucking things. But like, that's just not how I want to do it. I don't. It
sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun. So I had mentioned a little bit about the difference in funerals and the suicide funeral and and I think I'm assuming you've been to at least one of those in your life.
Oh yeah. So my very first one was actually my uncle.
Okay.
And actually what I wanted to talk about that is that when somebody commits suicide, it's I just remember, I'll never forget this. My aunt was angry. Like, she was just like pissed off. Like, why would he do that?
I've been there.
Right? And it's it's part of me understands. But what stopped me from doing anything to myself or even just hurting myself was I don't want to hurt my family.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes through with it, like, it just shows like how deep,
how dark it really was.
Yeah, like it's like that you can see past that. You see past the people that you would hurt.
Yeah.
By taking your own life, and it's just recently one of good friends. Like, we weren't close friends, but we've played a few shows together, and he left a big impact on the Winnipeg punk scene.
For sure, he did.
I
know who you're talking about.
There's thousands of people that are hurting right now, and our buddy Scott, like, he's going to be dearly missed by the Winnipeg music scene. Not just the punk scene. Everybody knew him, and he's been in the music industry for a long time. And like, I remember the first time my band played with Mung, he came up, like, we showed up with our gear, right? And then he's like, he saw that I was nervous. because I was pounding beers. and I'm like, yeah, man.
Oh, is that what you do when you're nervous? You're nervous a lot.
Yeah. I know. But he came up to me, and then I'm like, man, I'm just like, I hope we don't fuck up. He's like, listen, man, nobody will know. Nobody will give a shit. Yeah. Go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
And we played our set. He was right up front. After the show, he was like, holy shit, like, you guys did great. And it wasn't just like, oh, great set. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, like the normal
just
thing.
Like, man,
everybody,
I love that,
yeah.
that second song. Like, when you guys played that, like, there was the breakdown.
Like he was engaged.
He was really engaged. He really gave a shit.
Yeah.
And he was like that with everyone. He came actually, so let's call it a comedy podcast, the VI pod that I do with Bretsky and Kyle. We did a barbecue fundraiser, so he played in another band called Death Tax, and like, showed up there and just like had the best fucking time.
Where was I?
I don't know. You didn't come. You were invited for sure, but you just never showed up.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But just down to everybody loved him. He had the funniest, stupidest jokes. Somewhat offensive, but like, he was that guy. He would just say the most ridiculous, funniest thing ever.
But often, like, those are the ones we lose.
Yeah.
Right?
And I guess that's how people deal with certain things, look at Robin Williams.
Yeah.
One of the funniest guys ever.
Great example of that situation, right? Like,
and who would have thought, right?
So well liked, so loved, so kind, so gentle, so funny, so sad.
So many demons that he was fighting and dealing with, right? So and it's shitty, and I love the messages that people were leaving right now, like about Scott saying that you're free now. Like, and I guess that's the one thing that people that deal with shit is that they can be free before they do something, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I hope, like, with this show that people just spread the word and like reach out. Like, I know it sucks, and I've been there, not as dark, but there's always something better that's waiting for you, right? Is what I want to, I guess, put out there.
Yeah. I had that conversation with someone literally today on the way here who's feeling that same sense of darkness, just that lack of sight. You can't see in the dark. Yeah. It's hard to see in the dark. And like, he just right now, and I don't want to unpack it all, but like he's in something right now that's so dark he just can't see. Yeah. And I'm just doing my best to keep connected with him and keep in touch and make him talk and make like anything at all. And like, I don't think he's at a point of risk, but I don't think he's not at a point of risk. That can shift pretty quick. And maybe we'll talk about it another time on an episode, or maybe he might want to come on and talk, but it's just the suicide thing is just so. When I talked about my grandpa being sad, not tragic, this is the complete fucking opposite of that. It's just so tragic because we all, us who are living, feel like it didn't need to be that way. Yeah. We always feel like that, right?
100%.
Like, we're the ones left behind. And like, we always feel, or I always feel like it didn't have to happen that way. Yeah. And you said it earlier, like, for someone to get to a point where like that was the best way for them, that was the best solution to what they were, to their darkness or to their whatever you want to call it. It's just it's so fucking heartbreaking is an understatement. Like it is. There isn't words to describe that, and it's just so fucking tragic. And I'm sorry about your friend, man. Like I knew of him. I I was in the music scene, and anybody in Winnipeg who has been in any of the music scenes knows who that guy was, knows who his band was. Like, we all know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we all know the impact that they had on the scene and the people in it, and like his reputation carried far.
Yeah.
And it's just it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
what else do you say? It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's shitty.
It is. But at the end of the day, I've heard so many beautiful things about him, and I can't repeat now anything.
Yeah.
But there's one quote that I wanted to bring up. But overall, everyone's saying that, you know what, it sucks what happened. Too bad that it happened this way, but let's carry on celebrating his life. I know there will be a memorial show put together by his past bandmates, and I know it's going to be a great shit show. And just the way they're describing it, it's like, I know we're going to go there and we're going to have a great time.
That's a celebration of life that you're talking about.
That's going to be a true celebration of life.
Yeah.
We're going to celebrate Scott's legacy that he left here in Winnipeg, and it's he's touched many, many lives in a positive way, and I wish Tanner the strength that she needs right now to go through whatever she's going through, and to all the bandmates and everyone that's affected by his death. I just really hope that people are gonna remember him for who he was and not for what he did, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it sucks, and hopefully he's in a better place now, and one day we'll rock out with our cocks out, as he would say. He would say shit like that. So
nice. Hopefully he found peace.
Yeah.
It sucks for the rest of us that's what it took for him to find that peace.
Yeah.
I just hope he found it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
The rest of us can try and figure it out and move through, but I don't know what happens after we go, but and that's another show we'll have some other time, but I think that
I would love to know what happens after, but it's not very guaranteed, right?
No,
There's
exactly.
all these different
my wife has some ideas, but not any solidified info.
I've heard some crazy stories, but that's a different show for sure.
But I hope that whatever peace he needed, he found.
Yeah.
And
that's,
we can all find our own peace in that. Those who knew him, those who were close to him, can all try and find their own way to figure that through
right.
that, and we're all still here, and
we all have to find our own peace with this,
Yeah.
and it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this means anything, but I'd love to dedicate this episode to him, moving forward, I don't know if there's anything. We had another death in our family. One of our friends. Unfortunately, she had cancer, and back in Slovakia, so that impacted both of us again. Like, this was literally a week later, like within a week. So it's been tough. Shout out to our friend Pimpy. Her nickname was Pimpy.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was a sweetheart. She saved my life a few times, because when I went back to Slovakia, like, she gave the best massages. And like when I had bad back aches, like she just like fixed me for the time being. So that was amazing.
Nice. That's awesome. And that's a good friend.
Yeah, and
I don't think I'd do that for you.
No, you wouldn't. And passed away young, my wife's age, and that's shitty. And she was battling cancer for a while, and I know we both regret of not seeing her this past summer when we were there. And that's one thing too. Like I had a conversation with, I don't even know who, but every time I go back home, I always have that in the back of my mind. It's like, what if this is the last goodbye I'm saying to you? Whether it's could be my brother, my sister-in-law, my parents, right, and friends. And it's such a shitty feeling, but life goes on, and thank God for the technology. We get to see each other often, so that's good. But we just got part of us like, damn it, like, why didn't we find like 10 minutes just to? But
it's a hindsight. It's a hindsight thing, and like you just. Yeah, you can't live in that.
No. And it's like we're not. It's not. It doesn't bother us, or like we're okay. But it's just, there's always that
something you think
thought,
about,
right?
So, yeah, of course.
So yeah, I mean, people, it's life and death, right? Like people are born and then we die every day. Slowly we're dying, and then eventually our time just like our clock times out, and then we don't know when our time is. And I guess we need to say our farewells when we can, and I mean, this might be the last show that we see each other, right? We never know what happens, and we just need to kind of appreciate each other's companies and times, and like really, there's people that fucking hate each other, and my dad and his brother like didn't speak for years. And like I can't even imagine if like one of them passed away, and how would the other person feel? Like.
Yeah.
Try not to hold grudges against people, and
well, and if you have something kind to say to someone, if you think about it, say it.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell someone you love them.
Don't hold back.
If you love them, tell them you love them.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to end.
Sure.
Yeah, on this note.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram. Rate our show on Apple Podcast if you can. And send us an email if you have a story to share with us, quietriot@gmail.com, and we'll respond for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All Quiet Riot Show episodes have been recorded and produced by SuverMedia. If you think you have an idea for a podcast but don't have the space or proper equipment, please visit SuverMedia.com for more information. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit the follow button and leave us a review if the platform you are listening on allows you to do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Quiet Riot Show, and follow us on the Instagram page @QuietRiotShow. Please share this episode with others that may be interested in these topics. If you know anyone that would enjoy these topics, feel free to share our podcast with them. Also, let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch with us in the comments on our channel and social media, or send us an email to quietriotShow@gmail.com.